Welcome, Stashers, to another episode of Stache Sports. Today we'll talk about the Pirates and other sports, and talk about the hockey game that's coming up, and argue my predictions on who's going to win and how many games it's going to take. The Pirates are back in action tonight after having a day off. Let's see what they do after sweeping the Minnesota Twins. They play the Houston Astros tonight in Houston, and the first pitch is at 8 o'clock. But we'll see what happens when they come back tonight and see how good they do. But when we start off, some people can talk a lot of trash, like my friend Colin, but when his team loses to Oklahoma City Thunder and you talk trash back to him, he cries like a little baby and deactivates his Instagram and blocks you. But oh well. It doesn't really matter to me because Oklahoma City won't be in the final this year, and we'll have a new NBA champion, which is good, because Oklahoma City has a whole bunch of floppers, and it's what's ruining NBA, in my personal opinion. And it's just ruining NBA, in my personal opinion. I mean, they're a good team, but if Colin would have focused more on having his team score more points and not have a couple of his superstars only have 4 points in a Game 7, maybe he wouldn't be crying and would be watching the NBA Finals because his team will be in it. But his team didn't score more than 4 points, so it doesn't really matter now. His team didn't score more than 4 points. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens now in the NBA. But that game is tomorrow. So I'll talk more about Colin tomorrow and talk more about that game tomorrow when that happens. But tonight is Game 1 at 8 o'clock on ABC and the ESPN app between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The Carolina Hurricanes have not been in the Stanley Cup for quite a while. And Vegas was just in there a few years ago, so it's going to be interesting to see. Carolina is looking like one of the top teams right now. I mean, I know it took them 5 games to beat out the Montreal Canadiens, and Montreal looked good in a couple of those games. But in Game 5, the Montreal Canadiens didn't look good at all. But I don't know. Carolina's looking really good. If I had to bet money on it, I'd probably bet Carolina in 5 or 6 games, maybe even 7. I'd say Carolina in 6. That's who I think is going to win. But I do think Carolina gets Game 1 tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what Vegas does. Vegas has all these superstars still. But a couple of years ago, when the Las Vegas Golden Knights became a franchise, they had an expansion draft. So they were able to get a lot of these superstars from these teams and build a super team. I mean, some of them are leaving now because of salary cap restrictions and other stuff. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Vegas Golden Knights in this series. I just hope it's a good game, and they're good games. Because honestly, that's all you really hope for. And watching it when your beloved Penguins are in it and you don't have a team in it. I'm just glad that it's going to be a United States team because the United States won gold in the Olympics this year, and they can win gold in hockey or win the Stanley Cup in hockey, United States team. It's funny how people think that Canadians hate hockey sport. I mean, I know a lot of the players are Canadian, but Canada has not won the Stanley Cup for a long, long time. It seems to always have to be a U.S. team. Maybe U.S. is becoming the bigger sport in hockey and the better places in hockey. I mean, I know all the Canadians are coming here, so maybe that's why too, but we'll see. The Vegas Golden Knights are 39, 26, and 17, and 8, 19, 14, and 8 away.
You gotta love hockey fans. Some bloke.
The Carolina Hurricanes are 53, 22, and 7, 29, 10, and 2 at home. Carolina's a minus 155 in the betting odds right now. Maybe Jack Eichel scores. Jack Eichel's having a career playoff run for the Vegas Golden Knights. Maybe he is one of their up-and-coming stars and helps the Vegas Golden Knights win tonight. Or Sebastian Aho. Sebastian Aho is pretty good. I mean, Carolina's always been in the playoffs and made it far, but they haven't been able to make it to the Stanley Cup for the last few years, for a while. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do and how they respond when they finally make it to the Stanley Cup. Because over the years, they have been trying to build a team to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and that's what they need to do, and we'll see what happens with that. But I think the Carolina Hurricanes win tonight. It's going to be interesting to see if Connor Hart plays. He gets to play for the Philadelphia Flyers if he plays in that tonight, and to see what happens for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. See, still tickets are available as low as $666. That's the mark of the devil. Goals per game. 3.2 for Vegas and 3.55 for Carolina. Goals against average 2.95 and 2.88. So they're pretty close in goals. So it's probably going to be a good series. But they're close in goals because they played this hard. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see how Vegas' defense and how Carolina's defense holds up and who gets the most goals in this. Shots per game, 29 and 32. Carolina has more shots than Vegas, but 29. Shots against, 24 and 23. It's going to be interesting to see if this game goes to overtime. Some of Carolina's games have been going to overtime, where Carolina is pretty good in overtime. So if it goes to overtime, it might be a Carolina game, even though it's a golden goal, but we'll see. But that's going to be game 1 tonight at ABC at 8 o'clock. Local ABC at 8 o'clock or ESPN app to watch the Las Vegas Golden Knights play the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. WNBA, we have the Atlanta Dream against the Sun. I think the Dream are going to win. The Sun are 2-8. That's pretty bad. We got the Mystics versus Sky. The Sky are 3-5 and 3-4. I think the Sky win. We got the Valkyries versus the Fire. I think the Valkyries win. And the Las Vegas Aces, I think they beat the Sparks. But we'll see. Right now, the college baseball playoffs are going around. The college baseball playoffs are going around college. West Virginia came back and won last night and will host in the next round against Cal Poly. North Carolina will play USC. We'll get in those games later on when they come on. But they don't start until Friday. So that's a couple days away from now. So we'll get into that. Last night, the Texas Tech Red Raiders and Texas Longhorns won in the women's softball. It'll be facing off in the next round. So it'll be a Texas rivalry to see who wins the Women's College World Series, I think. Or who advances past that round to see who moves on or wins the College Women's World Series. For the Women's College World Series Finals, it's going to be Texas that comes in at 51-12 with number 2 seed versus Texas Tech that's 61-8. It's going to be interesting to see. Texas Tech has one of these young and upcoming stars, Williams, on their team, who's doing pretty good in hitting a lot of home runs in a World Series, in the College Women's World Series. But it's going to be interesting to see which Texas school wins the finals. That starts tomorrow on Wednesday, June 3rd. And we get more into that tomorrow. Last night, the Detroit Tigers won 10-9 against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays are pretty good this year, but they lost by a run last night against the Detroit Tigers. But you had the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers. That's good. At least the Snakes are doing something productive. The Mariners beat the Mets 3-2 last night. The Marlins won 7-3. The Royals won 9-2. The Twins won 9-6. The Brewers won 16-2. The Rangers won 2-1. And the Rockies won 9-8. Carmen Majewski, who got moved to the bullpen, is coming back for the Pirates tonight. Let's hope he can come out if he comes out the bullpen and grows up. Because that's what happened. He was having troubles with the adjustment of moving to the bullpen. I mean, I don't agree with moving him to the bullpen at all. I think they should have moved Bubba Chandler to the bullpen or try to move him down, because Carmen Majewski has been doing a lot better, in my opinion, than Bubba Chandler. But I'm not the management, and I'm not Don Kelly and the management of the Pirates. But I know we do need better bullpen arms, because we really just have Rattel, Soto, and a couple others, but we need better bullpen arms. I hope Carmen Majewski, if he does come out of the bullpen, can give us a couple good innings before we go to Rattel and Soto. I mean, I know Santana's been okay, but Santana's been doing a little better, and we do have a pitcher we got from Tampa Bay Rays. It's going to be interesting. The Pirates are going against a pitcher they traded away for Brandon Lau tonight when they played the Houston Astros. It's a 3-team trade. And the Pirates got Mason Montgomery. Mason Montgomery, that's the name I'm trying to think of. He's doing pretty good in the bullpen too. But some of these other arms that aren't doing good, they got rid of. At least they finally got rid of not Trevor Lawrence, that's a quarterback of the Jaguars, excuse me. At least they finally got rid of Justin Lawrence, because Justin Lawrence wasn't doing good at all. We got some cash considerations from the Minnesota Twins or whatever team we got rid of him to. So at least we got him for something, than just cutting him and getting him nothing and getting rid of that contract. Hopefully that cash can go to playing some of the players or something, and it can be beneficial to the Pirates, since that's what they need. Because he knows, I mean, if they finally do a MLB salary cap, that'll be good for smaller market teams. I know all these bigger market teams and bigger market fans don't want that, because like the Dodgers are going to have to come underneath the salary cap, like I was reading a couple of days ago on a couple other episodes, if you need to go back to refresh your memory. But they would have to cut down the salary cap, and the Pirates would have to try to get it up to go to the salary cap they're proposing. But that's going to be a big topic of discussion during the new league year meetings, because the Players Association and the ABA, whatever it is, are coming to a collective bargaining agreement this year and going to have meetings to try to discuss a new collective bargaining agreement. So that's why some of these experts in Pittsburgh and around the national media, in Pittsburgh, the local media and national media, think that baseball could go on a blackout period this year, which might be good if baseball does go on a blackout period, because that might mean that the Pirates can get a salary cap and make baseball more competitive. Because in my personal opinion, I don't think it's competitive at all right now. Right now, you already know that it's just going to be the Dodgers and whoever the Dodgers play, but it's going to be the Dodgers and whoever the Dodgers play, or the Yankees or whatever, and maybe the Mets. I know some teams like the Mets aren't doing that good this year, and they have one of the higher payrolls, so it doesn't matter if you have a high payroll, but it surely does help a lot, and that's why it's always the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are back-to-back MLB World Series champions looking to go for a three-peat, which isn't fun. I think if they did add a salary cap, I think it might get baseball more watchable. I mean, I'm not saying baseball is getting down in the ratings, but people might start watching more because they might actually have faith that their team will do good and be more competitive. I mean, look at other sports. Like hockey, all these other teams are competitive with the Penguins and all these other teams. In football, you have competitive teams. I mean, there were some teams like the Dolphins and Jets always seem to stink, and the Browns always seem to stink. But sometimes they have good years, and sometimes there's other competitive teams in other divisions, like the AFC North has the Steelers, Bengals, and Ravens, where they're pretty competitive. And the Jaguars are starting to do good with the Houston Texans, Colts in that division. So we'll see what happens with that. But at least having a salary cap in football makes it interesting. Makes it more interesting because then, I know you had a couple years like when Tom Brady was decent, and maybe when Patrick Mahomes is good. That Patrick Mahomes might be in a championship every year, or close to it, or Tom Brady was in a championship every year. But we'll see. That's going to be what happens with the Pirates. But if the Pirates can get a sour cap, maybe they can keep Paul Skeens back there. He's one of arguably the best pitchers. I mean, I know we do have good pitchers now. Who would have thought that Braxton Ashcraft would be doing good? Braxton Ashcraft was one of the good pitchers last year, or last month, and let's hope he can continue that. Braxton Ashcraft is having a full year this year because Braxton Ashcraft has dealt with injuries the last few seasons for the Pirates, and how he's having a good season and he's healthy. Let's hope he can stay healthy and have a good season. It's going to be interesting to see what Jared Jones does and Bubba Chandler. Bubba Chandler's going to have a lot more pressure on him now since they moved Carmen Majewski down the bullpen than he did before. Let's hope he doesn't crack under the pressure and can get under control and stop pitching so many balls. That's the thing that's been wrong with Bubba Chandler. Bubba Chandler's been pitching a lot of balls and a lot of strikes. I mean, if he can get his control of, he has pretty good speed and pretty good power and pretty good speed on his pitches. He just needs to get better control. I mean, I know he's still young and still learning, so maybe that could be something to teach. And that's why they kept him up, because they think it's a higher floor and higher ceiling to be a starting pitcher, even though Carmen Majewski and most bullpens, most teams will be a starting pitcher. But let's just hope Carmen Majewski can grow up and be a team player and start playing with the team. So that's something they need, is a better bullpen arm, because like I said, we just have Rotel, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, and Montgomery's pretty good. Santana needs to get better. And we got Soto, that's doing pretty good too. Soto's a real surprise. Who would have thought Soto would have been doing this good this year? And Montgomery and some of these others, and Rotel, that's getting called up. Rotel is going to be one of these new famous pitchers for the Pirates, I hope, and can keep it going. But tonight, the Pirates are going against Mike Barrios, not Braxton Barrios. Mike Barrios used to play for the Pirates last year, but as part of the free team trade, that sent Brandon Lau, Jake Mangum, that's doing pretty good. Jake Mangum, Magnum PI is doing really good for the Pirates. I mean, you put him in the outfield and he's going to do really good. It's going to be interesting to see once these people get healthy. I know to have Rhino Harm, but Rhino Harm might be playing DH. But since Marcell Ozuna is not hitting well right now, you keep Marcell Ozuna in. I mean, I know he's getting a high contract just to be a designated hitter, but that's the one complaint right now with the Pirates, is he's sucking it up. That's the one complaint with the Pirates right now, that he keeps sucking, and if he can't get hit, they might need to put him on a bench or put somebody else in the designated hitter spot, because we do have one of the better offenses this year. Vinny said we scored more than 100 runs than last year, and we had like 300 runs or something, but Pompiani said last night. This offense is doing a lot better. That's something the Pirates have focused on this year, and has really helped the Pirates. Do a lot better this year by getting a better offense. I mean, Brandon Lau, Rhino Harn is doing really good. And they even got back Brian Reynolds to do a lot better. And even though he strikes out a lot, O'Neal Cruz is doing a lot better at hitting a lot more home runs and getting a lot more hits. I mean, Brandon Lau is on pace to be one of our first second baseman in quite a while, to have a lot of home runs right now. I know it's only early part of the season still, but that's good to see the Pirates are doing a lot better hitting, because considered last year, the Pirates are dead last in hitting and are one of the top teams in hitting this year. I know it's beginning and it could all go down, but right now the Pirates are competitive still in baseball and competitive in that division. When that division has a lot of teams above 500 and a lot of other teams are good in that division, who would have thought that division would be really tough this year? But it's just nice to see that the Pirates are finally doing something. And it's nice to see that Ben Sheraton and our owners are finally doing good on trades. I mean, I've been hammering out all year. They've been doing crappy on trades, but finally they got Brandon Lau and Spencer Horwitz a couple years ago in trades. And Spencer Horwitz is looking like a pretty good first baseman and is doing a lot better in hitting. And Brandon Lau is one of our better second basemen. Brandon Lau is on a contract here. Maybe that's what they need to do and pay him and get him shore up a second baseman. That's something that we've been missing since Neil Walker. Is a good second baseman. I mean, I know we locked up Connor Griffin, that's on the DL right now, but he'll be back soon. But he's a shortstop. But that's something they need to. They need to lock down Brandon Lau, since we have an everyday second baseman. I know he's getting older, but that'd be nice to have a good second baseman, because that's something the Pirates have been missing. And who would have thought Nick Gonzalez to be this good? Nick Gonzalez is doing a lot better and making a lot better for a baseman. I mean, I know Jared Chirola is a Golden Glover and might have better defense, but Jared Chirola hasn't been hitting, so that's why Nicky G is playing for a baseman more, and Nicky G is looking like a good defensive player for a base too, in my personal opinion. But I'm glad Nicky G and the Pirates are doing good. It's nice to watch baseball games and know that anytime Cruz comes up with the bases loaded or whatever, he can hit without striking out, and it's nice to see that they can at least hold on to leads when Paul Skeens or some of these other pitchers are in. I mean, I know sometimes they don't hold on to leads, when these other pitchers are in because it depends on the bullpen, which that's something they need to fix. Maybe they can try to get Marcell Ozuna out of here if he doesn't keep hitting, and maybe try to get another good relief pitcher arm and get another good reliever arm in the bullpen and help the bullpen for the Pirates. Because if they can help the bullpen for the Pirates, that'd be something that'd be greatly appreciated as a diehard Pirates fan to get more bullpen help. I mean, maybe Carmajiski does good and relights that bullpen, and maybe Santana does good, and Rattel keeps doing good, and so does Santana, and that helps the bullpen too, and they can get some other good arms with that. Like, hell, Brandon Lau came in and started helping Ryan Reynolds and Cruz do a lot better this year, in my personal opinion, because Brian Reynolds had an off year last year, but he's really turned his switch around so far this year, and it's looking a lot better. I know it's still part of the early season, but we'll see. And even Magnum, Beverly got from the free-team trade when they traded Mark Berrios to the Astros, and the Cubs received a prospect, and the Rays received 2 prospects. The Pirates entered the offseason and needed an upgrade. Offensive bat finished last in MLB in runs scored and OPS with 256. I mean, they're doing a lot better. And 31 home runs and 83 RBIs. They're doing a lot better this year. Lau has made an immediate impact in Pittsburgh. Throughout 48-49 games, hitting at 263 and 13 home runs and 33 RBIs, leading the positive slugging at 5.51 on base percentage at 905. He also improved defensively, moving 94-14 DRs, whatever, but he's doing a lot better. But that's good to have that many RBIs this year early in the part of the season. That's something the Pirates offense, like I said, have been missing for the last few years. But it's nice to see the Pirates offense doing a lot better this year. I think the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Detroit Tigers tonight after losing a close one last night. I think the Boston Red Sox beat the Baltimore Orioles tonight. I think the New York Yankees beat the Indians. I think the Braves beat the Blue Jays. I think the Cubs beat the Athletics. The Pirates are playing the Colorado, the Houston Astros to come in the game 27-34 in Houston and 13-16 at home. Pirates are 3rd in the NL Central and the Astros are 4th in the AL West. Bubba Chandler's playing tonight. Let's hope the Pirates can get a win for Bubba Chandler, but that's something the Pirates have been missing. It's getting a W for Bubba Chandler. Bubba Chandler's is okay a pitcher, but they need to keep getting hits because Bubba Chandler's been struggling. He's 1-6 with 4.5 ERA, and he's going to have a lot more pressure on him now since they put down Carmajiski and a lot of fans. I mean, I know it's not a home game, but there might be a lot of Bucco fans there, but it's going to be a lot more added pressure now. If he keeps messing up, are the Pirates fans going to come out against him and say they should have put him down in the bullpen or whatever? It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But let's hope the Pirates can keep their hitting ways like they had. Let's hope the Pirates keep their hitting like they did against the Minnesota Twins and former manager, but he used to coach with him, Derek Sheldon, before he got fired for Don Kelly. Let's hope they can keep their hitting ways because that's something the Pirates need. But they're going against Mike Burrows. That gets to play for the Pirates. It wasn't that free team trade. They got Brandon Lau, Jake Mangum, and Montgomery, but are doing really good for the Pirates this year. So that's a really good trade. And he's 3-6 with a 5.4 ERA. So I think the Pirates have won that trade so far because Lau has 14 home runs and 37 RBIs. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight after the Pirates come off a sweep and have a day off. Sometimes after they come off a sweep, they don't seem to do good, but I think the Pirates win tonight. I think Bubba Chandler gets his 2nd win of the season, and I think they go on and take game 1 against the cheating Astros. I think the Pirates win. I think the Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks tonight. I think the Mets beat the Mariners. I think the Phillies beat the Padres. I think the Marlins beat the Nationals. I think the Royals beat the Reds. I think the White Sox beat the Twins. I think the Giants beat the Brewers. And I think the Rangers beat the Cardinals. That would definitely help if those games come true and I get those right and the Pirates win. But it's going to be interesting to see if the Pirates can win tonight because, like I said, the Pirates have been struggling when it's Bubba Chandler's night. But Bubba Chandler needs to get his act together and make sure he can play well because it's going to be interesting to see how long of a leash he has. I mean, I know they let's see what happens. Hopefully he can have a good night and shut up the haters tonight and do good. But we'll see. But I think the Pirates win tonight, like I said. Yesterday, A.J. Brown got traded to the Patriots. I think I talked about that, but I was more shocked about the Myles Garrett trade because that was more out of left field. I mean, everybody and their mama knew, and all the people that were watching knew that A.J. Brown was basically out of Philadelphia on draft day. But that was a good trade for the Patriots. Even though I'm a diehard Steelers fan, I think that was a good trade for the Patriots because that's something they missed. Was a good receiver last year, and they got that. But we'll see. The Eagles, you don't know if they won trades, and they got a 1-5. But it's interesting they got a 1-5 because I was watching a video earlier today where Jalen Waddle, but I know Jalen Waddle is a lot younger, got a lot more picks. I mean, the Eagles could have got maybe a lot more, I mean, the Patriots could have got a little more picks out of the Eagles, but we'll see what happens to that. Jacobs is at practice, even though prosecutors more charges. Chase is better now. Marcus Sutton gets a $5 million raise and revoked deal. Joey Porter and Nick Herbert are back at Steelers training camp. I mean, they're talking about getting them a new contract this year, and they need it. Joey Porter is one of the true lockdown corners. Joey Porter Jr. is son of Joey Porter Sr. that used to play for the Steelers. Let's hope we can keep Joey Porter Jr. on the Steelers and Nate Herbert on the picks for the Steelers. That's what they need to do. But luckily, everybody was at mini training camp this week. Even Aaron Rodgers was running the ball around a mini training camp before they switched him out, probably for Will Howard. It's going to be interesting tonight to see on the nightly sports call and listen on other sports radio later to see who the backup quarterback was. Hopefully it's William Howard, because William Howard, I think, should be backup quarterback, and I think Mason Rudolph should be looking at packing his house and getting out of Pittsburgh, because even if Aaron Rodgers does go out this year, I'd rather see what William Howard can do, because William Howard is the future here. It could have a future here more than... William Howard could have more of a future here than Mason Rudolph past this year, in my personal opinion. But I know some of my stats, like Robbie Snyder, think Mason Rudolph is a better quarterback, but we don't know what Mason Rudolph is. Will Howard is. Will Howard didn't play at all last year, so Will Howard could be a good quarterback, but we don't know if he's going to be good or if he's going to be bad. But I'd rather see what Will Howard can do, even if he causes us to lose this game, and Mason Rudolph might cause us to win games. I know that's not what a fan wants. A fan wants their team to win, or a fan cries like our Stache Colin does when his team loses and he tries to talk trash back to him when he talks trash to you all the time. Tomorrow we'll talk more about basketball, because tomorrow the San Antonio Spurs, who got us out of Columbus City in the finals, thank you Spurs, will be playing tomorrow night. Like I said tonight, I think the Carolina Hurricanes take game one, but we'll see. Is it going to go to overtime, or is it going to be a clean win in regulation for the Carolina Hurricanes or Las Vegas Golden Knights? I mean, don't sleep on the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Jack Eichel and a lot of his players are doing a lot of good for the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm just glad that the Stanley Cup will be staying in the United States of America and not going to Canada this year, since we won the World Cup, or since we won the Winter Olympics this year and finally won gold in that since the Miracle on Ice. It's nice to know that the Winter Olympics and the Stanley Cup, the gold. It's nice to know that both sports will be won by a United States team. And maybe the United States is better right now in hockey. But thank you, Stache, for watching every episode of Stache Sports. I really enjoy all my viewers and viewership on these videos. If you have any comments, please like and share to get more views on these videos too. But please leave them down below and I'll try to answer them. Sometimes on YouTube, it doesn't let me answer them. It says something's going wrong. But I'll try to answer your comments and concerns. But thank you for watching my videos and watching Stache Sports. Let me know what else we can talk about. We'll talk more about the Women's College World Series tomorrow too, since that kicks off. And we'll start talking more about college baseball. I didn't realize college baseball was in the playoffs until one of my buddies, one of my stashers, Joe, told me about it. I mean, that's when I watched the rest of the UCF game, even though they lost, but they had a good season, and watched the Florida State game every day, and they had a good season too. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, West Virginia has a lot of these Pittsburgh Pittsburgh-born players on the team, since Pittsburgh's not that far away. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them. And hope they do good, even though I'm a Panthers fan, but we'll see. I mean, college baseball is heating up. Let's hope the Pirates can do good tonight, and let's hope the Pirates can do good tonight and give Bubba Channel another win. It's going to be hard because they're playing Houston, and we know all Houston likes to do is cheat. But let's hope the Pirates can win tonight and have a good night and have a nice night. I mean, they did pretty good last night, so we know they can hit and have a lot better hitting this year, and they're getting a lot more runs, and they're one of the top run teams with like the Dodgers, the Braves, and other teams. I have to go back to the Knowledge Sports Call episode a couple of nights ago to remember what teams they were. But they were up there with one of the teams. So it's nice to see that happening, and nice to see that our management's finally getting the concerns right. I mean, I know we might need more arms in the bullpen or a lot better, but that's something they need to fix too. But it's nice to see the Pirates are doing a lot better, but I think the Pirates win tonight. But again, thank you for watching every episode of Stache Sports. If you have any comments or concerns, please leave them down below.